I don't know about you guys, but there seems to be an accepted level of mediocrity in the landscape of film and television that has just kind of become a norm these days. The bar for quality content is far lower than what it used to be, and practically anything these days will get greenlit, as long as it's a prequel, a spin-off, a prequel off, whatever you want to call it, of an existing IP. The TV landscape, I feel, is extremely oversaturated, and most of it is just painfully average. And now look, before I go any further, I should probably clarify something. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with the vast expanse of mediocre content out there, because you know what? The word mediocre here is just my opinion. One man's trash is another man's treasure, and what I find to be sorely average, others may adore. And you know what? That's amazing. I'm no authority on what kind of TV shows should get made or on who should enjoy what. Really, there's never been a better time to be a TV fan, because nowadays there really is something out there for everyone. Many of the modern day TV shows that I simply can't get behind, they have dedicated fan bases of their own. And that's awesome. As a critic, I can speak to the very legitimate concern that the growing level of accepted mediocrity in studio filmmaking is slowly suffocating the more original voices in the industry. Look no further than the recent Furiosa box office bomb. But that's a whole other discussion, and there's a time and a place to wear the critic hat, because at the end of the day, this medium is an art form, and art is made to be enjoyed. I would never want to invalidate someone's enjoyment of any piece of content the same way I wouldn't want you to invalidate mine. But this is my video, and therefore my opinion, and my opinion just so happens to be that most TV shows these days, they fucking suck. So, we good? We understand each other? Awesome. Roll that intro. Fleabag is fucking amazing.
Jesus.
It's hilarious, it's gut-wrenching, it's insightful, it's whimsical, it's clever, it's raunchy, but above all else, it's original. It's a purely singular work by the sensational Phoebe Waller-Bridge, and there's nothing else like it. Sure, while watching, I found myself drawing comparisons to some of my other favorite TV shows out there. It has the quirky, offbeat edge of Bill Hader's Barry.
Oh my god. Fuck! Oh my god, that was so scary.
The witty, dark humor and themes of mental health like BoJack Horseman.
He died of a broken heart because you didn't appreciate him enough. And now he's gone forever.
We might have gone too dark on that series finale.
And the excellent ensemble characterization of Better Call Saul.
It's all good, man.
I can sit here and draw more comparisons, but the truth is, there really is nothing out there quite like Fleabag. It draws on its inspirations to tell a story in a wholly unique way, and that's the best single line of praise I can give this thing, but why stop there? I binged Fleabag in 2 days. It's a pretty quick watch, with each of its 2 seasons consisting of 6 20 to 30-minute episodes. I hadn't seen any trailers or previews beforehand. Those who know me know I prefer to go into most movies and TV shows relatively blind. And by the end of the first scene of the first episode, I was immediately captivated. The sheer originality on display struck me as such a pleasant surprise. It felt like a breath of fresh air, and I knew I was in for the ride until the end. There's something about finding a gem of a TV show like this, especially in today's landscape, that feels so rewarding. For the 6-ish hours that I was in Fleabag's world, nothing else mattered. I felt like I was in a trance, taking in this incredibly original production that was just so damn good it didn't feel real at times. Now, I know the show's been out for a while now, and so I'm kind of late to the party on praising it. I can speak on the flawlessly executed tonal shifts between laugh-out-loud humor and somber reflections on life and love.
I want to take clean cups out of the dishwasher, put them in the cupboard at home, and the next morning I want to watch my wife drink from them.
Or the consistently engaging fourth wall breaks that never got old.
What? What?
But by now, most of that stuff has already been spoken on, which is why I'm really trying to focus on just the overall originality of the show, and how that alone sets it apart from shows of similar themes out there. Because here's the thing, Fleabag could have been about quite literally anything, and as long as it was this level of original, I would have loved it all the same. In fact, that kind of leads me to my next point. Although season 2 is arguably the better season, the writing, acting, and overall production value is simply better than the first, with some truly hilarious moments that eclipse any of the jokes in season 1.
Oh, wow, it's heavy. Oh! I sometimes worry that I wouldn't be such a feminist if I had bigger tits.
Please be seated.
And also with you.
Not to mention the way in which the traditional fourth wall break is further built upon.
What was that?
What?
Where did you just go?
I do want to focus on the first season for this point I'm trying to make here, because whereas season 2 had more of a solid overarching narrative, what with the wedding and the hot priest, the priest, babe, no, come on, it's a joke. It's just a funny little line I wrote in the script. I don't mean, come on, seriously. Season 1 doesn't. There really is no plot to the first season of the show. One could make the argument that the plot is Fleabag trying to keep the cafe afloat after Boo's death, while also processing the trauma and guilt that came with said death, but I'd argue that the former is a paper-thin side plot at best, and the latter is more characterization than plot. But that's what made the first season of the show so captivating to me, you know? Despite the absence of any real narrative, I was instantly gripped and ended up blazing through the season way quicker than I was originally intending to. I didn't need a story to follow, you know? Simply watching Fleabag navigate her life was more than enough, thanks to how original and unique that storytelling was. You know, the excellent writing brought to life by Waller-Bridge's infectiously charming performance was amazing enough on its own, but the diverse supporting cast was also so well realized, which resulted in a consistently engaging character piece. It reminded me of my first time watching Better Call Saul, my favorite show of all time. You know, sure, as the series progressed, the plot became quite tense and gripping, but the first season of the show was much like Fleabag in that there was barely any narrative, you know? It was just Jimmy trying to make it as a down-on-his-luck lawyer. As the seasons progressed, the show objectively improved in overall quality, and yet, season 1 is still one of my favorites from the whole series. You know, I think it's a remarkable achievement when a writer or director can successfully make the character the main plot, if you will, of a movie or TV show, instead of the world around that character driving said plot. That's exactly what the early seasons of Better Call Saul did, and that's exactly what Waller-Bridge did with Fleabag. All this is to say, originality is a truly powerful thing. If Fleabag wasn't so stylistically unique, you know, you'd be left with an intermittently funny and sometimes insightful look into the life of the main character, which would still be entertaining, but not phenomenal. Originality can take any piece of content and immediately elevate it tenfold, because the thing about these original pieces of content is that they're so vibrant, you know, so soulful and so full of life, that it becomes less about the story and the plot and more about the unique artistic style on display. You know, if I go back to season 1 of Better Call Saul for just a moment, the actual narrative of that season is so far down on the list of things I love about it, you know? Rather, it's the creative cinematography, passionate acting, and intelligent writing, among other things. Watching season 1 of Fleabag, I honestly forgot a couple times in the very beginning that she even had a cafe to run. I was so immersed and engaged in the unique approach to storytelling that I really wasn't even thinking about the actual plot all that much. And although that may sound strange, it's also one of the best compliments I can personally give to a movie or TV show. So yeah, I can sit here and continue to praise this show for so many more things, you know, most notably the way season 2 builds on the fourth wall break and brings that thread full circle for the viewer by the end. But then I'd just be stating what other reviewers and critics already have. You know, I really wanted to focus on the originality of the show for this video because, like I said in the beginning of all this, I really do feel that mediocrity is becoming the new standard these days. And so it's a truly special thing for me when I come across something as unique and original as Fleabag, you know? It gives me hope for the future of the industry, you know? It gives me hope that original voices will continue to be heard, even if they have to scream at the top of their lungs to do so, you know? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Consider leaving a like, subscribing on your way out, and sound off with your own thoughts in the comments. Thanks again, guys, and take care. Stay well.